Hi, everybody. It's so nice to be here with you again. And to those who don't know me, my name is Sheri McGregor, and I'm author of the Done with the Crying series of books for parents of estranged adult children and founder of the website rejectedparents.net. And today I want to talk to you about recidivism. And most often we hear that word used in relation to previously incarcerated persons who offend again and land back behind bars. And the meaning of the word really has to do with relapse. But let's not forget that behind the bars part, because that imprisoned part really applies here. Parents of estranged adult children often feel imprisoned, and in our emotional pain, our dashed hopes, our self-blame, the endless puzzling over everything that we wish we could fix, but we can't because we didn't break it, but frequently take responsibility for anyway, which kind of reminds me of that terrible high road message that parents hear again and again and again, which, don't even get me started about how hurtful that is. But I digress, and I did talk about that in a recent video, the one from April 17, with the headline, Parents, Are You Stuck? So if you've heard that high road BS, and you think, wow, haven't I been taking the high road as a parent? Then go take a look at that video. But here, the subject again is recidivism, meaning relapse. And the recidivism of continuing to imprison ourselves because of the things that I mentioned: emotional distress, dashed hopes, self-blame, the endless puzzling over how we might just, if we could just do or say that one thing and this would be fixed. And often those sorts of relapses are triggered by our offspring's actions or contact, or something we see online, or sometimes by someone else who tries to tell us that we should feel a certain way, or they reframe the estrangement in some way that is untrue, uninformed, or even triggered by that person's agenda. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's this horrible, bad agenda, but it nevertheless is an agenda, and it could even be triggered by their fears, because gosh, no one wants to think that this could happen to them. And we don't need to get stuck back in the prison of trying to prove ourselves as good parents, or to try to convince them how deteriorated the relationship has become, or whatever. And in Beyond Done with the Crying, I talk more about how difficult that can be for parents, because here's this person we love or admire or respect, and they're characterizing the estrangement as something that we have control over. And also, how do we get past all of that and take care of ourselves anyway? Okay, we can relapse. We can have a setback. We can go along and feel peaceful and then sort of fall back into the chains of imprisonment. And even when we've been doing good, moving forward, for the most part, we're happy, engaged, enjoying the other relationships in our lives, and then something happens. We're triggered because of some cruelty or manipulative behavior, or maybe because a child reached out to us and then went no contact again, dashing our hopes in the process. And then we slide back into this prison cell of our own worst fears, distress, upset. And what I hear all the time is how good parents were doing, and then bam, back to square one. That's exactly how they put it. And so when that happens, we can believe and we can tell ourselves, and we go with it, and we can catastrophize the whole thing about how, well, this is never going to change, and we're always going to be hurting, and we'll never be happy again. And by doing this, we really put ourselves in chains. And some of us even throw away the key, and we give up, and we decide, well, that's it. We define ourselves as this prisoner of pain. And so first, let's acknowledge that we do have control over ourselves. Let that sink in, because although it's easy to give in and let them win at telling us either with words or by their actions what crap parents they think we were, we don't have to join them there. You know who you are. I know I was a good parent, and I know the majority of the people that I interact with were also good parents and have been and are. So with a bit of self-awareness, a measure of grit, and the mindfulness to hear how we start beating ourselves up in our own thinking, beating ourselves up in our own thinking, we can take charge of ourselves. By preparing ahead for setbacks, we can then recognize them when they arrive. We can see a shift backward for what it is. It's a longing. It's an echo of old hurt. It's a response to a trigger. And then we can say, okay, it is what it is, but I'm okay. I can get up. I can dust off. I can get on with my life. And I can see the good in my life. I can focus on that good instead. I can magnify and multiply the good. We don't have to accept or agree that the real offender gets to jail us, to put our wrists out and get into handcuffs and then lead ourselves back into this hellish prison of sadness and pain. We don't have to do that. And with practice, we can get better. We can recover faster. We can break free. We can escape those chains. And then instead of feeling bad about our own willingness to take care of ourselves, to have a life, to be free of abuse, instead of all that stuff that just keeps us imprisoned, we can celebrate that we're managing this horrible thing that's happened. We can celebrate that we've been doing better, that we can do better still. It's proof. It's proof that we can have a life, that we deserve one, and that we're learning how to live with things that we can't change. Because let's face it, we all have a lot of practice with that, don't we? We don't always get our way. Do we wish things were different sometimes? Of course. Do wishes always come true? No. And we've learned that over and over again. And that's especially true when our wishes involve other people. Sometimes they don't do what we want, but we can be okay anyway. So today, I want to challenge you to take note of those setbacks. And instead of allowing them to sweep you away back into this stuck point or square one, which is the phrase I so often hear, identify why you're feeling so down. See if there was a trigger of some sort, a holiday, a bit of contact, something you saw, an anniversary or a special date, and then watch what you say to yourself. Urge yourself along. We can do better. We do better when we don't beat ourselves up. We can encourage ourselves. Instead of kicking ourselves when we're down, we can give ourselves a hand up. We can be our own cheerleaders. And we can be compassionate with ourselves instead of locking ourselves into sadness, self-blame, shame, embarrassment, and so on. In short, we adapt. And whether you're the parent of a problem adult child, estranged, addicted, mentally ill, or just plain difficult, or if you're anyone, adapting is necessary. That's especially true as we age. Things change. People change. The world changes. And we have to find ways to adapt. I'm doing it every day. and so can you. So give yourself that gift of believing in yourself, working toward what you envision for yourself, and learning to set yourself free from who and what you have no control over. It's really vital to a successful life for anyone. Adaptation is vital. And you can adapt. We're all more resilient than we think we are. I hope you found this video a little bit useful. And if you'd like more information and specific tips, I hope you will get my books, the Done with the Crying books. They're full of research, information, examples, case studies, exercises. And you can also find more information at the website, rejectedparents.net, where there's a sign-up form there for my free newsletter. It's at the bottom of the page, and you can scroll down, fill in the form, and I'll put the information below for that too. It's easy to subscribe, and it's free. And finally, I hope you will subscribe to this YouTube channel too. One click and you'll be notified whenever there's anything new that I post. And the more views and subscribers that I get, the more YouTube will feature my channel in previews. And that means more parents of estranged adult children will find my videos, my website, my books, and each other, because you guys help each other. I see your comments here in my YouTube channel. I see your comments at the website. I see you helping each other, comforting each other, offering wisdom to each other. Sometimes I'm just amazed at the wisdom that you guys all have. You're not alone. You have each other. That's all for today. I hope you have found this useful. And until next time, take kind care of yourself, okay? Bye for now.